Well, hello everyone. Here I am again, out in my little shop. It's time to take the strings off, and let's look inside of this little Silvertone from 1959. Let's finish up on this video that I started yesterday. Got to get those strings on and see just exactly what happens when I string it up. So let's start by introducing this mirror, and let's see if we could just take a look beyond. Well, first of all, is there a bridge plate? Which there it is right there. You see that? There's the bridge plate. Now the question is, let me straighten this out a little bit. What's on the other side of that bridge plate? There's the nuts that hold the bridge in place. There's two of them. And by the way, I took a Phillips screwdriver, and those screws just were loose, and I tightened them up. But there's still a gap there. And here, I can't really see if there's a crack on the other side of that, or if that's just a finish crack that we're looking at. It does not look like any of this was removed or changed by any way, shape, or form. Take a little look around here. So there it is, lots of glue in there. And it does have a bridge plate and a brace that comes right alongside that. So I doubt that's a crack that we were looking at. I think it's just something in the finish that we were looking at from the top side. And there is the model number and the 608, which is the first year that these were made. They went nuts with the glue there. The 608 was in 1959. There we go. They say these are made with plywood, or not plywood, hardwood. So, I don't know what that means, hardwood. Someone said it's birch, but I thought it might. I saw someplace else they said it was plywood, which would be not a hardwood. That would be a laminated wood. So I'm not sure what this is. But in any case, whatever they did it very cheaply. And that way they could afford selling it for a low price so that it could get underneath all the Christmas tree back in the 60s and late 59. Okay. So there it is. I tightened those screws in place a little bit. They actually were loose. I don't know if that's what we were hearing rattling. Possible. And you can see that line that goes across there. But when I press on it, it doesn't feel like a crack. I think it's just in the finish. These things have a painted on finish, so it's possible it just checked there under the pressure that the strings were pulling on it all these years. But when you look at this top, I mean, this guitar looks like it stayed in the closet. It is beautiful, although you can tell it's been played, because there's the ebonized. Oh, let me take this off. There's the ebonized fingerboard. It's interesting because when I took the strings off, the wooden nut came off. There it is there. And someone had tried to lift it up a little bit by using little pieces of paper. See that? That was underneath it. And as we measured it yesterday, it obviously was way too low. See that? Look at that. So this thing definitely needs another nut. So I'm going to just put a nut on here. Definitely, that's got to get changed out. That's almost flat to the fingerboard. And I think that's original, though. I'll leave it in the case. I think it's original to the guitar. It's just that I don't understand how in the world it's so low. Huh. Strange. So that's got to be fixed. And then here's the tuners. They look original as well. They work, but they're very loose in there. Again, something that could be rattling. So I'm going to tighten those up. I have this little, I like gadgets. I don't know if you've ever seen one of these, but there's a website that's called Music Nomad, and they sell all kinds of tools for luthiers. Oops, there goes that one. And this one is a 8-in-1 tool. They call it the octopus. And, you know, you've got, you know, every size here to tighten a bushing or a jack or whatever. And then there's 2 sides to the screwdriver. It's cheaply made, but it didn't cost a lot, and it's very convenient. So I have that. I think it's pretty cool. Anyways, so here we go. All right. Let's look on the other side. Okay, so I just went ahead and put a little WD-40 on those. Tighten those up. Once I tightened them up, I wanted to make sure that they weren't too tight and that there's still, if you make them too tight, you won't be able to turn them. So you got to get them so that there's not a lot of resistance, because otherwise you run the risk, these are old knobs, you run the risk of breaking those off by having to torque them too tight. So I think it's good, and they're not rattling. So you notice they're not rattling. This one's a little bit, but once I put the strings on, you won't hear it. But they're not rattling anymore, so that's going to help. Okay, so everything else looks good here. Just going to clean that top off with a little lizard spit. I like this stuff. This is a really good one. I also like the one that comes from this company here, Music Nomad. And that one works real well. I don't have any in here right now. I'd show it to you. But okay, here we go. All right. Okay, so I put another nut on. So while that's kind of setting in place there, let's see here. Whoops, my mess is down here. Do a little shaving. Okay. So while that's setting up, I think I'll clean up these frets. There's no wear on these frets, really. They're just very slight, and the edges are just perfect. There is not one sharp edge, which really surprises me. Usually these old guitars are sticking you right and left, and they're not. It's actually a really good fret job on this old guitar from 1959. Okay, so I'm going to clean that up, and then I'll put the strings on. And I'm not going to do anything. I'll probably just clean the looks like a brass bridge. I don't know if you can see that, but that looks like brass to me. And when I say bridge, it's saddle. See, the saddle is, let's see if I can get in there, huh? There it is. That's brass, I'm pretty sure. And I tightened up the bridge, so that's not going to be rattling, and I don't think that's a crack. I think it's just a finish check. And other than that, it looks pretty good. I'm not going to do anything more with it. I'll add a peg there. I've got a bunch of them somewhere that are from old guitars. And I'll put one in. Okay, so I have my fret erasers here, and what I'm going to do is just take them one at a time and go over each of these frets until I clean them up real nicely. I have a little plate that I'll put over this. I need to find it so that I don't pick up any of this dark, whatever it is they blacken this wood with. And I don't want to ruin that. I'm just going to leave this. This is just character. But I'll go through and just go one eraser at a time, and they slowly go up. I think it's to 8,000 grit, something like that. I forgot what, yeah, it's the highest is 8,000. And it starts at 250. And the lower ones, I just a couple runs over it, and I start working my way up and just get them all nice and shiny and clean. And I'll do the same thing for this right here, and that's it. Then we're going to put the strings on, see what we have. One of the things I was wondering about as I was going over these frets, which I taped off because I couldn't find the plate. But I was just wondering if, let's see if I can find this. If there's any kind of rocking frets here. We'll start with 3 here. That one's rocking just a little bit. Just right there. We got a high fret right here. The rest of this is fine. So number 2, I'll have to remember that. I could mark it right now with a, hear that? But here it's fine. Here it's fine. The frets look like they're in great shape. But if one of them, started rocking, I could shave it down, and because that'll cause a string buzz. What's this here? Here's one right here. Hear it? This fret right here. This fret right in here. So so I can probably get that cleaned up a little bit. That will help with any string buzz, maybe, if it's what's causing it. Yeah, this looks good. Looks good. Okay, so let me go back to I'm on number 3 now. I don't know what this is. I think it's like 500. And we'll go over this. Just like so, about 6 passes. It's hard to do it with my left hand, so I'm going to turn this thing off so I can work on it. Okay, so I went ahead and went over it again a little closer with this, just checking for rocking on these frets, and I was able to lower that 1 fret so it stopped. This way here. Yeah, it looks really good. Much, much better. That is much better. And so, yeah, it looks pretty good. I'm going to take the tape off, clean up the fretboard, and put these strings on. And then we're going to go ahead and try to play it and see what happens. All right, here we go. Okay, so everything's been done that I'm going to do on this guitar. And I have strung it up, and it's not rattling anymore. That E string is a little bit weird, but high E. But other than that, it's fine. This nut is still a little low, but I'm not going to touch it because the action down here is 0.1, which isn't terrible for an acoustic. But I'm afraid if I bring it up, it's going to bring this up higher. So I think I'm just going to leave it because I think you can play this. I'll show you in just a bit. I'm going to play it. But other than that, it's, this guitar is going to be more of a wall hanger. This is not something, that you're going to play live someplace. Unless you're looking for a specific sound that you want on a recording or something, you might see something like that. But it's very temperamental. Right now it's holding the tune because I tightened up the tuners. And, I didn't tighten them too much, but just enough to where it'll hold better. I've cleaned up all the frets. I had one high fret. Actually, I cleaned it up. I tapped it in place. Basically, it was up just a little bit. And then I went over it with the erasers, and I spent a little more time on that particular one to make sure everything is in place, which it is. There's no more rocking frets. And I put a little knob down there so that you can put your strap back on. And so there you go, the Silvertone, the 608, made in 1959. And right now the action, as I said, is 0.1 all the way across the strings. It's just even. And there's no truss rod, and I'm not going to mess with it any further. It has a brass saddle, and everything looks okay. I don't think that's a crack there. I do think that's checking in the finish. At least I don't see anything on the other side. And there you have it. It's in really great shape for such an old vintage instrument. I think it's awesome. It's a great reminder of what we had to play and learn on, as opposed to what there's available today. It is amazing what's available today. You can get a guitar for $100 and it'll play better than this one. And it's just awesome. So there we have it. I put the Elixirs 1152s on it. And there we go. We're all set. All right. Let's try playing it. What do you think? It plays. I'm amazed. Once I put that new nut on there, brought those up just a little bit. I mean, it's still, the nut could come up just a little more, but I'm a little afraid of messing with it because it does play just fine. There is a little dance there, but it's just a little bit low. But I was a little afraid to go too high with it because the strings are already at 0.1 at the 12th fret, and it's the same all the way across. It feels great. The action feels really easy on this thing. And you can play up the fingerboard, and the rattles are pretty much gone. It still has that old twangy sound, but that's what comes with these guitars. Now, this guitar belonged to a great-great-grandmother, and her faith was very, very strong. She only knew like 3 songs. They were all church songs. And that song that I started out, Life is Like a Mountain Railroad. Life is like a mountain railroad. That was one of them. And then she also played... At the Cross. Yeah, she played that, and Honey in the Rock. That was another one that was played on this guitar. I mean, you have to remember, this was bought, this was given to her as a gift at Christmas. It had to be 1959 because that's the year this was made, and it's the first year of this model, 608 Silvertone. And yeah, So if you haven't seen the video of what it was like when I first got it, actually last night I thought this was destined to be a wall hanger, but it's not. I mean, I'm just blown away that changing out the nut, getting those frets so that they're even. There was some really high fret down here. Basically, I just tapped it into place and then I smoothed it over with some erasers. I used some erasers on it and brought it down a little bit. And we thought there was a crack here, but I don't think that's a crack. I think it's just a stress checking on the paint itself. But it seems to be holding. I think this bridge here is holding down just fine. I actually screwed it down, tightened it up a little more. But I don't think they glue them on in the first place. I think they're just bolted in place. And there is a bridge plate underneath this. I thought maybe there wouldn't be one. I put the strap button on there, and the neck is in great shape. But after doing that and tightening up the tuners, because the tuners were so loose that what was happening was they just couldn't stay in tune. So once that happened, I mean, I'm just so surprised and so pleased. So this is going to go back to the person that owns it and be a wonderful heirloom and a reminder of that grandmother who loved to play those old church songs. And the burden of my heart rolled away. It was there by faith I received my sight. Now I am happy all the day. All right. Well, don't forget now, we got a live coming up next week, 21st, and I think it's at 6 p.m. I'll put the information here, and it's for everyone. So mark your calendars, get on there, mark the advertisement that I have on my channel for it. There's a place where you can hit a little bell and it'll remind you to get on there, join us live. And also there's going to be a giveaway, so you don't want to miss that. Tuesdays, the members. So you want to make sure that you have sent me your email. If you haven't received the link by now, it means I didn't get your email or something got messed up. Send me another email. I'll send you the link. Okay, so want to see everybody on that Zoom call and bring your favorite guitar or your favorite gadget or whatever you have that you want to share, and we'll have a lot of fun on that call as well. I have a road trip coming up beginning of May, and you don't want to miss that as well. I'll be taking you along with me to some of the mom and pop shop stores. We'll be checking out some guitars wherever we go, and it should be a lot of fun. It should be a lot of fun. So I hope you all have a great day or night wherever you are in this world.